So if you just clicked on this video because you have a friend or a loved one who has just lost a baby to stillbirth, I just want to say thank you on behalf of your friend, your loved one who is going through this horrible experience. They are going to be so thankful that you are even making the attempt to reach out today. So I commend you for even just starting your research, and I'm happy that you are here. Hi, my name is Nadia and welcome to Hoffman Happenings. Today I am going to talk a little bit about just some ways that you can help when you know someone who has lost a child to stillbirth. Just some background, about 13 years ago in 2007, I lost my son Tristan, who was full-term stillborn. He was my first baby, my first pregnancy, healthy baby, healthy mom, and unfortunately the unthinkable happened to us. We went in for a scheduled ultrasound. I was actually 41 weeks along, getting ready to be induced, and went in for a checkup, and unfortunately there's no heartbeat. Later on, after the delivery of my son, we discovered that it was because of his umbilical cord that was wrapped around his neck. It has been 13 years. It has been a roller coaster. I remember things very clearly, some details, and some things I know I have forgotten or just don't remember anymore, and that's something that's normal, that happens when you go through a loss. You remember some things really well, some things you don't over time. I have learned to get through it. You never get over it, but you learn to get through it, and you learn different ways to handle your emotions. When it's fresh, you pretty much wear your emotions on your sleeve. I went through a lot and I learned a lot, and I just really want to share kind of my experience and just some tips to maybe help others out there who may know someone who's experiencing a loss right now and they don't know how to reach out to them. It is a very difficult thing, or try to understand what somebody is going through when they are experiencing grief. As you know, and I'm sure you know, professionals will tell you that everyone grieves differently. Everybody has their own way of getting through grief, and what's very hard is to know how they grieve, what process helps them, because everybody is different, and it's hard at first to really know how to go about, you know, helping them, what you need to do, what words you should say. Sometimes people want to talk about their babies. They want to share that experience, while others don't want to talk about their babies at this time. Especially when it first happens, emotions tend to be like a roller coaster. One minute you want to talk and other times you don't. And of course that can be very frustrating when you are wanting to reach out and to be of service and help. And I think it's just very important to know that you need to navigate in a careful, caring way, and also learning to put your feelings aside because for coping too, because it's hard for you. You are a friend, you have a friend or a loved one who is experiencing the loss of a baby, a death, a grieving, and that is hard for you to process, you know. And but it's important to know that you need to put their feelings ahead of what you are going through. Just because something may be easy for you, it may be hard for them. You don't want to impose what you think would be good for you onto them. You know, some people just don't want to talk about it, and you may be the person that, to get over this, you need to talk about it. So it's important that you realize when you're talking to your loved one or your friend who's experienced this loss, is that you kind of put your feelings and your coping mechanisms aside and just really focus on their needs. Just a quick disclaimer that I am not a professional. I am just a mom. I have experience losing a child to stillbirth. A lot of this is based on my own opinions and my thoughts, and just from experience and talking to other moms who've experienced a loss, and you know, just from my own personal experience. again, I do recommend seeking out help, therapist, counseling if needed. But again, this is just my personal experience and just some advice that I've learned along the way that I wanted to share. The biggest questions that I've gotten through the years is, what can I do for my friend, for my loved one who just lost their baby to stillbirth? They just got off the phone with them, they just got the news, and they are just hurting themselves and just, wanting to do something. Maybe they don't know how to even talk to them, or maybe they got invited to go to the hospital and just not knowing what to say. When you see them, what is a good thing to say? And the first thing that I would tell someone is, the first thing you want to let them know is that you are there for them, that you are someone they can come to at any time if they want to talk to you about anything, that you are there as someone who is trustworthy, who is understanding, who will listen. Just giving them that comfort and that just security that you are there as someone that they can turn to. I think that is the most important thing when you're starting. And I guess the best way to do that is just to tell them and say, I don't understand what you're going through. I think if you try to even say that you understand, it's not going to go over very well. And a lot of times for us to cope, some people need to do that. They need to just tell them, I understand, I get it, but you don't. And it's okay to tell them, I don't know what you're going through, but I just want you to know that I am here, that if you want to talk, if you don't want to talk, if you want to just, be together sometime, go out for coffee, and just not putting a lot of pressure on them to know that, they have to act a certain way around you, that you are there for them, that you are just letting them know that you are there. And there are a lot of ways that you can do that. I think the best thing for me was when a friend actually told me that and said, I have no idea what you're going through. I have never lost a child. I haven't even had kids or whatever it is. I don't even know how to act, what to say, but I'm letting you know that I just have to tell you that I am here for you, that if you want to talk, I would love to hear about, your baby, or I would love for you to share with me how you are. And even if you don't want to talk, that's fine. We can just go out for coffee and go shopping or whatever, I think just approaching them, because it's going to be kind of an awkward situation, and you're not going to know maybe in the beginning how they feel, or how they want to be treated or what to say. And it's totally normal. I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's what it's going to be like. And you need to allow them to make the decisions on their own, not pressing them to talk when they haven't talked. Grieving is so different for everybody, like I said, and there's different steps to it, and they need to experience everything. They're going to be mad, they're going to be sad, they're going to be depressed. Of course, there are times where you need to know when to reach out if they need professional help, if depression is something that is, the signs are there where that they really need to seek out help for that. But there's ebbs and flows, and they're going to experience all different kinds of emotions. And so it's just kind of knowing that they can depend on you to just be there as someone who's not going to judge them, not going to press them for answers. And there's a lot of what happened. What do? You want to ask questions. And I think the best way to do that is to just, instead of saying, what kind of funeral are you having? Did you hold the baby? I mean, instead of just coming out with those, questions, is just saying, if you ever want to talk to me about your baby, even if you want to talk about, his funeral or whatever, I'm the one that would be fine. Please talk to me. I'd be happy to listen and all that. Instead of just asking questions directly, I think it would be best to just, approach them, offering to, be there, and that would be happy to listen whenever they want to share that information with you. And it may take time, but I think if they are comfortable, they will definitely open up and reach out to you. They find it just odd or just not normal to not talk about it. Some families just don't want to talk about it. Especially moms may not want to even be around kids. And I think it's okay to let them know that, you know, hey, we're gonna go out to the playground today. We'd love to have you join us, you know. But if you can't, that's okay. If you can't, that's okay, you know. Not putting any pressure on them for that. They may not be able to be around kids yet. They may feel uncomfortable being around babies, you know. I think it's important to, you know, ask them, to include them in things, to just tell them up front, you know, we're going to the zoo tomorrow. There may be kids there. I would love for you to come, but I understand if you don't want to, or I didn't know how that would make you feel, but, you know, it's important, I think, to keep the open dialogue between them, just kind of letting them know what's ahead so they don't get any triggers that may make them feel uncomfortable. When someone's going through grief, people want to reach out and help by, you know, cooking meals, helping with their kids, you know, maybe taking the kids out, babysitting or something like that, or, you know, doing laundry, coming over and cleaning or things like that. And I think that's a great way. I mean, I would have loved that. But again, it's hard to know, like, is that imposing? Are they going to want me to be at the house? You know, all those things. But it doesn't hurt to reach out and ask and say, hey, can I just come over today and hang out with you? And I'd like to fold your laundry just because I just feel like I'd like to do that for you today. Is that okay? I would like to just come hang out and fold laundry today. And they may say yes, they may say not today, and that's okay. And don't let it get you frustrated or offended or sad. That's something to know pretty early on, that whatever they say is not directed towards you. Don't take it personally. They just may be having a bad day, or they just may not be up for it that time. It may have nothing to do with you. And so that's important to know, that a lot of the things that may be said, or, you know, you may be reaching out and you keep getting no. And you know what? Don't take it personal. Just keep at it. Maybe, you know, give it a break for a couple days. And then maybe try again. You know, a lot of times right after a funeral is very busy, you know, with the funeral arrangements. I mean, it's like that with any funeral, but it can be a little bit more when a baby passes away. There's a lot of family around, people, you know, going. And then, you know, once family goes home, or, you know, the funeral is finished, and a month or two after the funeral is really when things can get hard. I felt that way. I had family around, and then, you know, about a month after the funeral, 2 months, it started to get rough because life goes on, you know. You're going back to work. They're dealing with just every day waking up, wondering if they're gonna run into somebody or just get a trigger, basically something that may remind them of their baby that day. You know, they may go to the park and try to get a walk in, you know, try to get some exercise, and then they hear a mom calling the name of their baby, you know, and that happened to me. I can't tell you how many times that happened to me. I was at the park once and heard a mom yell, "Tristan!" and it just tugged at my heart, and I just ended up crying and walking home. So, you know, things like that can happen, and, you know, it's hard, and it's hard to know how to react to that or how to help them. But I think that's a great time to reach out, just not imposing, just kind of saying, I'm here and I'd like to go out for a cup of coffee. Would you like to just go for coffee and just kind of hang out? And as long as you create the opportunity, as long as you make them feel without any pressure, comfortable, then most of the time they will open up, and they may tell you some information. And when they do, it's important to be a good listener and let them talk, no matter what it is, and let them feel comfortable with the emotions that may come out, and just, you know, just reassure them that you're there. And it's okay to say, you know, I'm praying for you, and, you know, you don't have to always have the right answers all the time. And sometimes thinking that you do have to have all the right answers, sometimes that's when the wrong things come out. Make them feel comfortable talking about their baby. If you make them feel uncomfortable, they're not going to want to, or if nobody, you know, responds to a comment that they make on their social media page about, you know, infant loss awareness or whatever, that you don't acknowledge that, you know, that can make them feel, well, I guess I'm just not going to post this because no one cares, or I probably embarrass myself. Just really be involved whenever they are open to talking about the baby. Just really encourage them to respond, listen, participate in any kind of way that they share about their baby. Just make them know that you care, and that you care about them and support them. You know, there are several things that people say to moms who lost babies to stillbirth that are very hurtful. And I know a lot of times it's not said intentionally, but it gets said. And what would make them say that to somebody, you know? I think one of the big, most popular thing that somebody would say would be, you know, are you going to have more children? You know, when are you going to try to have another child? And especially, I know in my situation, especially when it first happened, like the first month or two after, that wasn't even in my brain of another baby. Like, I just lost this one. This is the only one in my world right now. And at that time, that was going to be my one and only. Like, I didn't even think about having another child. That wasn't even on my radar. And I think people find that hard to believe, you know, that you wouldn't think about having another baby right away. I mean, I just didn't, and a lot of moms don't think that way when they're going through the grief. They're still grieving this baby. How can they even think about loving another baby? I mean, this is just unbelievable what they're going through. And it doesn't mean they're never gonna have a baby, you know, but they're just not capable of answering that question, or that doesn't bring any kind of hope to them. You just went through labor and delivery, so they're gonna want to do that again? I don't think so. And so it's like the worst thing to really ask. And people ask that a lot right after they hear about someone who even had a miscarriage, or you know, or stillbirth. When are you going to have another baby? Are you going to try again? And just don't ask that. Just don't. You know, when they finally are able to share that, yes, you know, be so happy and supportive, but don't ask, again, those questions. Maybe, you know, leave the door open for them to share that. I think the big advice I could give is, again, to not dwell on your own emotions or feelings. A lot of times that's what we go to when we're hurting too. Because again, you're experiencing this loss too. This is sad for you. Your loved one and your best friend or whatever, you know, is experiencing this horrible loss, and it's a loss for you, you know, but you can't take your feelings and impose it onto them, on how you feel, you know, this is how you should be feeling right now. Like, you need to just get over it. You need to just move on, you know, because that's how you may deal with it. You know, that may be how you deal with grief. And again, everybody has a different way of how they grieve, and you can't impose your own personal feelings onto them. I think that's something that's hard, because when you're hurting too, that's your coping mechanism, is just, you know, just asking people when you're going to start over again, or, you know, just giving those questions that will help you feel better, but yet are not going to help them feel better. And so it's important for you to just turn that off and really think about what they are going through, because a lot of the hurtful things that are said because that's something that helps you. It helps you to really impose your religion on somebody, because that's what gets me through it. I mean, how can I not tell somebody about my religion and my beliefs, and tell them exactly what I believe is you know, whatever religious belief you have. That's something that it's very hard for people, especially if you're a Christian like me. You just want to give them that comfort, but it's so important that you don't do that for your own well-being, because that's not maybe how they cope. That's not what they're using as their, you know, coping for grief. So that's something you really need to not impose your religious beliefs on someone. You can say, I will be praying for you. Call the prayer request line or send in your prayer requests. Get a prayer card if your church does that. You know, have them, you know, send them a prayer card to let them know that you prayed. I think that would be fine, depending on their religious beliefs. But to really like impose those beliefs that, you know, God did this for a reason and all of this, that may be your beliefs, and but you don't want to impose that on them, because that may be something that could hurt them. They really need just you to listen and be there, but to not impose and ask questions, put any kind of stress on them to come up with answers. You know, they may not be ready for that. So if you have a friend or a loved one, again, who is experiencing the loss of a child to stillbirth, it is a hard thing to go through, and it's gonna have a lot of ebbs and flows. You're gonna say one thing and it may help them. You may say the same thing a couple weeks later and it may trigger something. I wish I could say there was a really easy way to help somebody. That it really depends on their situation. Again, everybody grieves differently. But overall, if you show that you are there for them, that you don't understand, even if you don't, that you are transparent in letting them know that, but that you are there for them, that they have someone that they can go to and talk to. They should feel comfortable with you, that you are not going to press them into making any decisions, that you are just someone who's there for them. I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Again, I am not a professional counselor or anything. I lost my son 13 years ago. I have helped a lot of couples. A lot of moms have reached out to me asking advice, help. I've had a lot of people reach out asking how they should, you know, help someone who they know lost a baby, and a lot of the advice that I did give them, I shared with you today, and it helped them. So I feel like I just wanted to share from my experience what seemed to help. So, but thank you so much for reaching out. I tell you, if you reached out today by clicking this video, by researching, there are so many great places, and I will link below some helpful websites and different places you can go to get more advice and help on how to help somebody who's been through this. So I thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.